It was a cool, quiet evening in the Maasai village. The atmosphere was peaceful. Children were seated under the moonlight tree, listening to storytelling by Isina, an old Maasai woman. The Tortoise and the Hunter. Inside a small, dark room near the back of the palace sat the tortoise quietly, thinking of how the princess betrayed him. "I am her husband," said Tortoise angrily. "We're supposed to work together." He had once been cunning and powerful, very close to ruling the animal kingdom, but now he was nothing, just a mere prisoner, controlled and instructed on what to do by other prisoners. "I am done for," cried the tortoise. His pride and his wit had crumbled under the power of Princess Nima's cleverness. "I can't stay here forever," he muttered. "I need to reclaim my power. I can't give up on life. I am a tortoise. I am different and special." The tortoise scanned the four corners of the tiny room for any means of escape. Now Nima is the queen of the animal and Maasai kingdom. He knew that outwitting Nima was going to take more than just his clever speech or sober appearance. It would require a plan so devious that no one could see it coming, a plan to take what is rightfully his and to show the world that animals have the power to rule the world. Then his tiny eyes caught something, a small narrow window near the ceiling. He looked at it and moved closer towards the tiny hole on the wall. He started scraping the hole, then he squeezed through it gently and gently. The palace guards were always lazy at night after drinking heavily, and he knew this was his best chance. He took a deep breath, pulled his shell through the narrow gap, and with a little effort, he was out onto the soft grass below. As the tortoise crawled through the palace garden, his heart raced. Will someone notice him and scream for the guards to wake up? After what felt like hours, he finally reached the edge of the palace grounds. He could see the vast savannah ahead of him, his path to freedom. Tortoise had been wandering the outskirts of the Maasai village for days. Weakened by hunger and exhaustion, he sought refuge beneath a large baobab tree. As he rested, thinking of how to survive, he heard a rustling in the bushes. His instincts kicked in, and he quickly hid behind a rock, watching as a tall figure approached. At first, he looked like a shadow, but as the figure grew closer, he noticed it was a hunter. A hunter? Was he sent to look for him? The hunter dressed in the traditional Maasai garb with a spear slung over his shoulder. The hunter's eyes were sharp and focused, looking for animals to hunt. The tortoise watched him carefully. The hunter seemed skilled, and more importantly, he looked desperate. Perhaps just as desperate as the tortoise himself. Instantly, a cunning idea formed in the tortoise's mind. This hunter could be his ticket back to power if he doesn't hunt him down as his game. The tortoise thought deeply about how to approach him. As the hunter knelt by the tree to rest, the tortoise slowly emerged from behind the rock. "Good evening, mighty hunter," hailing him. "You are the greatest hunter in the world. Your eyes are sharper than any eagle. Your weapon is the most powerful of all weapons." The tortoise praised in a low, sly voice. He wasn't sure if the hunter would spare his life, but he needs the hunter. Startled, the hunter looked around, confused. "Who is there?" "It is I, the tortoise, once a powerful advisor to the king. I have a proposition for you, one that could change your life forever," the tortoise said, unsure of the reactions of the hunter. The hunter, intrigued, leaned closer. "What sort of proposition?" The tortoise grinned, his tiny eyes twinkling with mischief. "You see, I know you from Masai Mara village, and most of the villagers complain about the iron fist ruling of the princess. I know the secrets of the palace, where all the artifacts, money, and treasures of Masai Mara are kept. I know the weakness of Princess Nima. Together we can take control of the kingdom, but I will need your help." The hunter narrowed his eyes. Why would I trust you, Tortoise? You are known for your cunning ways. Well, my cunning is exactly why you should trust me, the tortoise said smoothly. You are a hunter. You understand survival, just as I do. I have escaped from the clutches of the Maasai warriors, and now I seek to regain what was taken from me. The hunter, though suspicious, was intrigued by the tortoise's boldness. What's your plan? Simple, the tortoise said, pacing in front of the hunter. Nima is clever, but she has a heart that can be swayed. I need you to win her over. Make her fall in love with you. Once she is blinded by love, she will trust you, and through her, we will have control over the kingdom. The hunter looked at him suspiciously. And what do I get out of this? The tortoise smiled. We will rule together, my friend. We will have the power of the Maasai village, and I will control the animal kingdom. Together, we will be unstoppable. Unknown to Tortoise, Django the hunter was a spy from a neighboring village called Katu. He was sent to spy out Masai Mara, which was always attacking the village of Katu. Django was a seasoned warrior, tall and muscular, with a spear in hand and a quiver of arrows slung over his shoulder. While he carried the tools of a warrior, he hid a secret that could tear the kingdom of Masai Mara apart. Django was not here to hunt wild animals. He was a spy sent from the village of Katu, the kingdom Nima's father had attacked brutally for decades. His mission was simple: to spy out the kingdom of Masai Mara. But it was a dangerous mission for him. Infiltrate the Maasai kingdom, get close to Nima the princess, and destroy her reign from the inside. As Django approached the gate of Masai Mara, he was greeted by guards who were skeptical of him. They stared at him suspiciously. What do you want? One guard asked, his voice harsh. I'm a hunter, Django replied, bowing respectfully. I have come to offer my skills to the kingdom of Masai Mara. I heard that Masai Mara kingdom is in need of strong men with hunting skills. The guard eyed him for a moment and walked around him, examining him before nodding. You may enter. Django smiled, his heart pounding with fear of being sent back. Of course, he said. As he passed through the gates, with anger in his heart, he was in the camp of the enemies. Years back, Katu had been a village full of life. Much like Masai Mara, the people of Katu were peaceful and known for their skilled craftsmanship and beautiful vegetation. Django had grown up there, living a simple and peaceful life with his family until the war came. Nima's father, King Mala, had been a ruthless ruler. In his quest to expand the kingdom, he ordered the village of Katu to be attacked and took many of its people into captivity. Django's family had not been spared. His father's life was taken in the fighting. His mother and his sister were taken as captives. Django was able to escape the attack because he went to the mountains with other warriors for tactical training. He vowed to one day return and seek justice for his people. He had trained for years, becoming a skilled warrior and hunter. When the new ruler of Katu, Chief Tamba, began organizing a resistance, Django was chosen to be the spearhead of the revenge. His mission: infiltrate Masai Mara, win the trust of Princess Nima, and find a way to bring the kingdom to its knees. Justice must be served. Weeks passed and Django settled into life in Masai Mara. He quickly gained the trust of the villagers, who marveled at his swift hunting skills. His skills were clean, and he would at all times bring back more game than any of the other hunters. One of his prowess soon reached the palace. One evening, he was summoned to meet Princess Nima herself. Django had heard tales of Nima's beauty. None of that prepared him for when he saw her in the palace great hall. She was tall and graceful, her dark skin glowing under the firelight, adorned with colorful Maasai beads around her neck and wrist. Django the hunter, Nima said, her voice strong and clear. I've heard so much about you. It seems you've made quite a name for yourself here. Jingo bowed deeply. I am honored, princess. It is my duty to serve your kingdom with my skills. Nima studied him for a moment, her eyes narrowing as she could sense something uncertain and suspicious hidden beneath his calmness. But she quickly discarded the thought and smiled. I could use a man like you in my guard. We face many threats, both from within and beyond the walls. Your talent will be of great value to me. Jingo's heart raised. That was it, the moment he had been waiting for. To be part of Nima's inner circle would give him access to the palace secret, and he could finally carry out his mission. But as he looked into Nima's eyes, he felt a flicker of doubt. She was nothing like her father. She ruled with fairness and justice, not cruelty. I would be honored to serve, princess, he said, though the weight of his mission pressed heavily on his conscience. In the following month, Django became one of Nima's most trusted guards. He was always by her side, accompanying her, advising her on matters of defense, and even protecting her during negotiations with rival villages. His loyalty and skill earned him a place of respect, not just among the palace guards, but also with Nima herself. But as Django spent more time with Nima, he began to see a side of her that he had never expected. She was not the cruel ruler he had envisioned. She cared deeply for her people, often visiting the sick and the elderly in the village, ensuring that everyone had enough food and water. She spoke of peace, of wanting to heal the wounds her father had caused during his reign. Django found himself torn. How could he betray a ruler who was so different from the tyrant who had destroyed his village? How could he carry out his mission when every day he saw the good Nima was doing for her people, and yet he is reminded of the cruelty of Masamara to the people of Katu? One evening, as they sat by the fire after a long day of hunting, Nima turned to Django and said, "You've never spoken much about where you come from, Django. Tell me, what is your home like?" Before Django could reply, the warriors blew a danger trumpet to alert the village of our impending attack. He grabbed Nima, rushed her into a secret cave for safety, and ran back to the town square to fight the invaders. Django fought fearlessly, protecting the village from attacks from outside. His mission was not to protect Masamara, but to destroy it completely. But he was already falling for the queen. Now, standing in front of the Tortoise, with the idea of taking over the kingdom of Masamara as the king, was something he had never thought of. The hunter agreed, and he made a deal with the Tortoise. Over the next few weeks, he began his courtship of Princess Nima. Using the Tortoise's advice, he approached her with great care, never revealing his true intentions. Nima was cautious at first. She did not have much information about him. He was kind, respectful, and over time, she found herself drawn to his quiet strength and wisdom. The hunter brought Nima gifts from the wild, a rare bird's feather, a beautiful necklace made of bones and beads, and a shimmering stone from a hidden cave. Each gift was a symbol of his admiration for her. And though she had always been a strong and independent woman, she felt her heart slowly softening. Meanwhile, the Tortoise watched from the shadows. Pleased with the progress, he whispered more strategies into the hunter's ear, guiding him on how to win Nima's trust fully. "She will soon be yours," Tortoise said one evening, "and once she is, the kingdom will fall into our hands." Django agreed. But as time went on, something unexpected happened. The hunter, who had entered this plan with selfish intentions, found himself genuinely falling in love with Nima. Her intelligence, grace, strength captivated him. She was more than just a means to an end. She had become someone he deeply admired. One day, Django received a visitor from Katu. He was sent to remind Django of his mission and to ask when the village of Katu should attack Masamara. Django told him, "Very soon. Tell the king, very soon." The following day, as Django and the princess walked through the village together, Nima shared stories of her childhood, of her dreams for the kingdom. The hunter, Django, felt a pang of guilt. Could he really betray her? You seem troubled, my love, Nima said, noticing his distant expression. The hunter hesitated. I've been thinking, perhaps there is another way. We don't need power to be happy. We could leave this place, start anew, somewhere far away. Nima looked at him surprised. Leave? But my people need me. I could never abandon them. Nima's face fell, a shadow of guilt crossing her features. I've heard stories of the wars my father waged, she said. He was not a kind man. I've tried to right the wrongs he committed, and I know that it can never undo the pain he caused to other villages, especially Katu. Django's heart skipped. Does she know who I was? Did someone spy on me? The hunter realized then that he could not go through with the tortoise plan. His love for Nima had become genuine, and he could not betray her trust. That night, Django was worried, torn between taking revenge and falling for the princess. He fell into a deep sleep. In his dream, Django sent word to King Tamba to get the warriors ready to attack Masai Mara, their enemies. He stood at the palace gate, his hand resting on the latch. His mind raced, memories of his village flashing before his eyes. He had sworn vengeance, sworn to bring justice to his people. But as he looked back at the palace, the place that had become his home, he felt a crushing weight on his heart. Katu's warriors stormed Masai Mara at midnight, while all the villagers slept. The plan was perfect, foolproof. But as the hour approached, doubt took over Django's soul. Could he betray Nima? Could he really bring destruction to a kingdom ruled by a woman who sought peace? Django ran back into the palace, shouting a warning to the guards. The warriors of Katu stormed the gate, but this time Masai was ready. Django fought alongside Nima and her people, defending the kingdom he had once sought to destroy. The battle was fierce, but in the end, Masai Mara emerged victorious. King Tamba was captured, and the warriors of Katu were defeated. Django woke up from his dream. I love Princess Nima and her people. I am here to destroy her kingdom, to seek revenge for my people. But now, standing at the crossroads of betrayal and loyalty, he found himself questioning everything. When the tortoise learned of the hunter's change of heart, he was furious. He had come so close to regaining his power, only to be stopped by the very man he had trusted. You fool! The tortoise hissed. You were supposed to make her fall in love with you so you could take the kingdom. And now you've gone soft. You've ruined everything. Then Django the hunter stood firm. No, tortoise, I will not betray her. I love her. The tortoise now realized that he was now alone. His plan had crumbled and he had no allies left. Desperate and defeated, he ran off into the forest, vowing to find another way to regain his power. Django, unable to keep the secret any longer, confessed everything to Nima. The tortoise plan, his mission to spy on the kingdom of Masai Mara, and how his feelings for her had changed. At first, Nima was furious. She felt betrayed, hurt by man she had come to trust. But as the hunter explained his change of heart, she saw the sincerity in his eyes. He had chosen love over power, and that was something she could not ignore. I forgive you, Nima said softly, but the tortoise will not go unpunished. He must be brought to justice for his deceit. Nima, with the help of her warriors, tracked down the tortoise and brought him before the council. He was exiled from the Maasai kingdom and was forbidden not to return under the penalty of death. As the tortoise slunk away into the wilderness, he realized that his own cunning had been his downfall again. He had underestimated the power of love, and in the end, it had been his undoing. Django the hunter sent messengers to Katu. He knows they won't be happy with him, but he has found love. He wants peace to reign, and is going to become the king of Masai Mara. When the king of Katu heard this, he was initially angry, but later considered the hunter's request. After all, if Django becomes the king of Masai Mara, Katu will not be attacked again. The two villages came together to celebrate with King Django and Princess Nima. And as for the tortoise, he wandered the wild, forever scheming, but never again would he come close to the power he had once sought. Lesson learned. Forgiveness can be more powerful than vengeance, allowing for the healing of old wounds and the building of new alliances.